ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all. We are deliberating verses from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the last chapter, in the last class, we had gloss over this verse number 7th, which goes as Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha Mayarpita Mano Buddhir Mame Vaishyasi Samshayam. And here in this context, I had taken up this idea of what it might mean or implication of Mai Arpita Mana and Buddhi. So, through any of this path of the jnana, of the reasoning, or of the devotion, by path of yoga or karma. So, the way the devotee or the aspirant of this path, the way he sees his ideal, and accordingly he reaches a state where mind and his reasoning, intellect, they both comes to a sort of stillness. That is the state. Mai Arpita Mana and Buddhi. So, we need these elements, these faculties, they are to be utilized. But they can only go a certain distance. Because the truth, as Upanishads or Shruti says, or Shastra says, that it lies beyond Avang Manasa Gocharam, beyond mind and the words Vani. Vang is Vani or Vichara or Shabda, and mind. So whatever conceivable by the mind, if the ultimate truth lies there, so it is not going to be somewhere switch over. So here within the mind and the speech, and something beyond the mind and the speech. It is going to be a progression. So, as the person is nearing towards that truth, they are going to become silent slowly. Mana and Buddhi. So, I had expressed this idea somewhere like this earlier in this class also, that when a point reach in your life, in your spiritual journey, in your spiritual struggle, when you see your devotion has transcended or risen or gone beyond emotions, and your knowledge has gone beyond your reasoning, and then you see there is no as such distinction between knowledge and devotion, jnana and bhakti, and you see it as a one substance, as if, then you can tell yourself that you are spiritually somewhat matured. So, look, you are all staring like this. So, these words, what the way I am putting it. So, I am not, trying to make a gimmick or trying to put up a show kind of thing. So, like I only know and you do not know kind of stuff. So, there is magic. You do not know. I have seen. I have gone there. No, I am not making that stuff up. Okay, but what can be done? So, you will have to go there by yourself, and you will have to verify these words, and truth lies in it. There is no alternative. So, when we come to talk about the experience, only words cannot explain it. So, our words, our thoughts, or our reasoning will fall short of conceiving this idea itself. So, anyhow, so this is a great idea. Again, this idea is to be pondered over. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. So, what can it mean that tasmat, therefore, sarveshu kaleshu means in all times. Sarveshu means all, kaleshu means in all times. Okay? Mam anusmara, remember me. And fight. And yuddhacha. So, here it is his duty to fight. So, that's why yuddhacha. So, it does not necessarily mean you remember God and go on fighting with everybody else. So, that cannot be the implication, because it is his imminent duty here. So, that's why yuddhacha. But this idea can be now extrapolated to whatsoever your duty is, imminent duty is. Now, I understand that I would not be able to do that immediately, but important idea is, if we want to understand this idea, try to simulate this in your mind, how it will be like if I supposedly live this idea. That is a nice way to understand something. Simulate it. How exactly it will be. Try to make that model, perfect that model in your mind. How it will be. And whether it will be the possible, or where it will face any hindrances, any obstacles, any problems. And as you try to solve that riddle in your mind, you try to get to understand the idea itself. And as you are trying to understand the idea, you are trying to replicate it in a real life scenarios, and it is going to fail, of course. And as you fail, as you audit it, reanalyze it, and that's how you make corrections, and that's how you understand the idea itself. What can it may mean? to remember me in all times and do your duty, so to say. So, as it is with spiritual life, as you grow in spiritual life, as you grow in spiritual life means from all its aspects. So, spirit, that is Chaitanya. So, as it is now covered by what we call our ignorance or avidya and contrary experience we are having, that is the product of avidya. Like, I am this much, I am exclusive, I am limited, I am defined by this and this upadhis, good, bad, x, y, z, I am male, this many years old, or I am this caste, this born to this parent, this is my mother tongue, I am smart, I am dumb, I am lazy, I am very prompt, etc. It can be various things you can say about yourself, and you know that is you, and these are the definitions, these are the upadhis. You know how you are. They are true in this real context. So, not to be embarrassed by it, good or bad or ugly. The greatest approach is to be very realistic. Unless you accept those terms as it is, you are not going to make any progress. You cannot label it some way other than what it is. You cannot whitewash it. Great idea spiritual life teaches you is this great strength, that acceptance of yourself, self-knowledge, what we say. So self-knowledge starts from this place itself, what you really are. And that great freedom, that great liberation, great moksha comes from this point onward itself, as soon as you accept yourself. This fight, this resistance between truth and projection, this energy is saved, this resistance is eliminated, and it is immediately liberating. Only it requires that courage. And there is another aspect spiritual life adds. There are many kind of people, you will see this. They are shameless in one way. That is another defense mechanism. They become so. They adopt that technique. Like suppose I am not good at something. I am brazen. I become brazen about it. I do not feel any shame, but I simply, protrude and project it as with lot of bravado. And what is the feeling? What is the idea? As if it absolves me of those, if I can use the word, crime or misgivings or whatsoever. Your mind, yourself, is always going to be very protective and defensive about yourself. So how to save yourself? Your mind is always inventing new tricks how to deal with the world, with this kind of scenario. Now, in world it might need, and whatever it might be needed to be done, that is another part. But as it reflects within yourself, that is the real domain of spiritual life and spiritual progress, and how are going to deal with it. So that is not what we say, that's acceptance, not only acceptance, but acceptance from rather spiritual standpoint of view, that something is not right, something is wrong, something is short, something I have not done right. There might be so many things, but not going down further it and becoming shameless about it. So something is wrong, that is all right. So attending this neutrality and trying to explore the ways how to correct, how to amend, how to win over our weaknesses, that is the spiritual outlook. You do not try to capitalize it so that people start expecting less from yourself. So this idea, this self-knowledge, now this is a great part of your spiritual progress, or rather whole spiritual progress consists of this only. Because all our efforts are negative. Negative in the sense, we do not generate the self, because self is self-evident. It does not require any prop. It is self-luminous. I do not create anything. I only remove what is covering it. So I do not invent the spirit, the Chaitanya, the Atman. That realization is making it real. It is not real, it is apparent for me, it is vague, covered, it is not actual for me. I make it real. That is realization of the self. Making it real. So, whole process is what is impeding that realization, what is stopping me, what is creating a barrier between me and the direct realization of it. We cannot even use the word, say, perception. So that's why the word realization. We cannot say perception, direct perception. So because always perception, then it means through your senses, or at least through your mind, or your mental faculties like buddhi, etc. So whatever is coming between it, trying to remove it, trying to reduce it slowly. As this goes on, this is how these things become then the matter of experience, slowly, gradually. So these words, what we are hearing, what we are reading, they are meant to be experienced. They are supposed to become real at some point of my time in my spiritual journey. That is the goal. Understanding, talking, feeling very nice, it's all okay, all right. That is not the end of all. We are supposed to go forward from there. It is supposed to happen. We have to dig into that direction. So what is creating this barrier? About this, my wrong idea about myself, this wrong notion of myself. So who I am truly, Shastra says, Guru says, that this is the true nature of the self. This is what truly you are. Tattvam Asi. This is what you are. This is the nature of Brahman. This is the nature of Atman. What is the reality of mine? I am such and such kind of fellow. This is reality. Okay. This is how I am supposed to be. This I can understand logically. All right. I can correlate to the Shastras, Gita, Upanishads, what they are saying, what I am able to correlate and understand reasonably well what Swamiji is saying. All right. Everything is all right. But this is just at one part of one side. My understanding and my behavior is not concurrent. I am Atman. As long as Gita class is going on, I am Atman. As soon as I am out of the Gita class, I am again Mr. and Mrs. so and so. And with all its attributes, that baggage, I am used to live with it, I am living with it, that is all right. But whenever by God's grace, our mind becomes little sattvic, we realize that this is the cage, this is the bondage. And I must liberate myself from this. that reminder from the deep within yourself, the echo which is coming from the deepest of your chamber of the heart, that this is the truth and this is falsehood. This is to be given up. This is not to be pampered and pandered anymore. We must part our way with it. We must seek the higher dimension of this truth. So, as this journey goes on, so most essential part of it would be I, the wrong I and the wrong notion of I. Sri Ramakrishna uses this word very nicely, puts it very succinctly. He said, me and mine is the sansara, is the Maya. He uses this word, two words, me and mine. If you just think over this idea, exactly it is you and yours, I and mine. And that is the whole of Maya. And this is engulfing, this is like this creation. We are so believe to be so real, so hard, whether we want it or not. So, this is what stops me to have the truth. These illusions stop me to have the truth. Unless this illusion is dispelled, I cannot have the truth. I am bound, I am shackled into this illusion. Now, so how do we reduce that? So, you start with what you are, what you know as yourself, as of now. And how then you see what binds us, what we consider as something wrong, which generally is, suppose, embarrassing for me. And that's why I try to project it some way other, and that's why lies comes in. So when we say accepting ourselves, there comes this idea of understanding how and why we do so. Because of our self-interest of self-preservation, propagation, etc. Our abhyudaya, yoga and kshema. So, in this natural instinct, we try to do or take such kind of steps. From this self-interest comes the desires, vasanas, and that's why we miss our judgment and do fall short of something. For example, let's say, I want money for there is some kind of need. Now that is my interest. I understand it, it is very important. And there arises an opportunity, but it is not fair, not legitimate. But now my interest is so heavy upon my mind, I took the unfair path and commit the mistake. Though supposedly nobody knows, I only know. But still, suppose I am the person who would not have done that if probably I would have been provided. So it is always going to be in my mind, that guilt, that irritation somewhere in my heart, deep within, though nobody knows that I did something wrong. Suppose, so these kinds of things, though, okay, so acceptance is, yes, you did wrong. So understanding, so you as a person, it's all right. You failed that time because you thought that this is this is really need to be done, that was very important, and you at any cost you had to get the money. It's all right that I am forgiving you, as if you are forgiving yourself. Your higher self is forgiving your lower self. All right, no problem. I am saying do not go to other extreme. Like some people, suppose his theft is caught upon, so he become shameless. अरे तो क्या हुआ, कितने लोग तो चोरी करते हैं, ऐसा क्या हुआ, मैंने थोड़े से पैसे ले ले तो मैं दे दूंगा. So many ways. So they become brazen about it. So that is not the self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is trying to go from that instance to the depth and root of that psychological phenomena or that psychological instance and correct from there. So your wrong attitude your first mistake was not taking the money, considering that money is imperative, or considering that this is ought to be done when there was no proper resource. Why it was necessary? Why it is must? Does not some misfortune happen to other people? Why you couldn't live with that? Why didn't you accept that situation? You could have tried in any other possible way. Absolutely understand there is no other. But why you didn't accept the situation in the first place? Why you wanted to do that? And for that money was required. And when there was no proper channel, you took the wrong path. So you make correction not there that why you did you take the money or didn't take the money. You make correction at the very root of it, which prompted that wrong step or misstep. कि नहीं, मेरी गलती ये नहीं है कि मैंने पैसा लिया, मेरी गलती ये है कि मैं जो ये लाइफ सिचुएशन आई कुड नॉट एक्सेप्ट एंड लिव विद दैट. आई वुड हैव ट्राइड माई बेस्ट. ठीक है, तुमने हर व्यक्ति को प्रयत्न करना चाहिए, पर जब तुम्हारे पास नीति शुद्ध अगर पथ नहीं है, so you should have accepted that and not took the wrong step. So all right, correction is made. So let us leave that. Bring that attitude, extrapolate that attitude in every life situation. Or then audit everything of yours. एक जगह गलती की है तो दूसरी जगह पे भी तुम ऐसी गलती कर रहे हो क्या? What is your general attitude in life? How do you live life? How do you see your life? What is how do you pay importance and prioritize your different requirement, desires of your life? So you go to the very root of it, those desires, how you are forming them. Kama. If you are desirous of moksha, then dharma is based on it and kama is also based on it. Dharma is the general policy and kama is your immediate desires. So dharma dictates what kind of desires you should entertain. Not dharma does not show you the way to fulfill any of your desire. That is not the work of the dharma. Dharma itself said what desire you should inculcate or entertain. And what gives authority to dharma? The idea of moksha itself. So this is how your self-knowledge, self-acceptance and those rectifications and now making corrections, amendment, this is like thorough ground work. You are taking every instance, every opportunity when you are going within yourself, the enormous work you will have to do. You will think like, suppose I am going to correct every my mistake and audit it like that. So whether it is humanly possible? So it becomes possible because so there might be instances of mistakes plenty and numerous. But when we are going to root of it, then we are seeing so very few or unity of it. Kyunki that ultimately they will take you at this route because of this avidya and because of these desires, because of this. So again and again you will be going back to that route and again correcting from there. So then this effort with uh, uh, with some habit, with some repetitions, they become easier to deal with. Then this exercise that individual do not have to do so intensively, so thoroughly every time. So some art is supposed master, then every time, suppose it can happen to any individual. It can happen to people who supposedly had the highest kind of spiritual experience. Even they can make errors. And somebody comes and they are corrected. The great thing about these great peoples are, they immediately catch hold of what the next person is saying and immediately can understand their mistake and correct it immediately. He does not have to pass through a penance. Because he has already done that. He has that mastery over his own mind. So immediately those like a reflex, everything follows. But for every other individual, this path he has to tread it, every step of it. He will have to face himself. This is the greatest punishment of wrongdoings. Not what world brings to us. That is not the great punishment. Great punishment is you will have to face it within yourself. Accept it. Correct it. You would answer everything of it. So this is what I say. This when I many times I have put this. There are two kinds of fruit of karma. So one what we call as, which comes as a prarabdha, which goes as a sanchita, which this world brings to you, upon which you do not have any control. That is, generally the fruit of karma, these ideas are spoken. Generally this part only is spoken. But there is another side of the karma, which is called as samskara. In chitta it is stored. That becomes the part of you. And it is always with you. There you can have some control. There you can have a fight in a controlled environment. Here only controlling this you can get or escape through this wheel of karma. This is the only way. The way within. So your self-knowledge, so realizing your self-bias or how mistakenly you were thinking, your errors, accepting it. So as you would be doing, one point of time when you will find your errors, it will make you glad, it will make you happy that at least I have found the error. Now I can correct it. So otherwise, if somebody is pointed out their errors, people become irritated, vexed, even offended, and they can react accordingly. Whatever means that individual might have at his disposal. कुछ नहीं कर सकते तुम्हारे तर्कों को, मतलब और कुछ तोड़ मरोड़ करके तुमको चुप नहीं करा सकते. So they can become physically violent or verbally abusive or something else. But when you are searching for your errors in your, एक स्वामी जी ने मुझे कहा था कि ये कैसे बोले like something has happened on the campus, कुछ मतलब गलत सलत हुआ है, तो बोल रहे चलो सीसीटीवी निकालो, सीसीटीवी दिखाओ, रिवाइंड करो. So exactly, suppose you think that in tune with what spiritual attitude you are rearing, it has completely disturbed your peace, your meditation, and definitely no. So why did you behave in that way? What is wrong? What is the real mistake? Where is the real error? Where is your real fear? Why did you behave in that way, the way you behaved? So we do not want superficial answers. उसने ऐसा बोला तो मैं क्या चुप रहता, मैं क्या सुनता, मैंने भी दो सुना दिया उसको वगैरह. They can be worldly answers to it, that is another thing. Whatever you do in the world, that is another part. You do whatever is necessary. Spiritual part is another thing, whether you are behaving. So this is what Swamiji expressed in few ideas, and I had put it together for my own self. So when we say our actions, whether they are taking us forward in our desired direction, so how do we judge whether our action? So ask these like 4 or 5 questions. I got it from Swami Devakantanda's talks. So like, ask whether you are doing it from the point of strength. Whether, suppose you are doing something like some charity or some noble work, are you some way compelled and burdened and you coerce and intimidated and then you are doing? Are your niceties flowing from this weakness? Ask this question. You bow down to God, hai na? Are you doing it from strength or are you doing it from weakness? Ask yourself. Somebody insults you, you quite very nice, sir, thank you. Are you doing it from strength or weakness? Ask yourself. And every time you audit your behaviors, and you will find yourself. Ask yourself whether you are doing it from the point of freedom or you are some way compelled, bound, manipulated. Are you free or not? So whether it is whatever action or course of action you have taken, whether it has made your heart small, shrink or expand, whether it has made you gloomy or blissful, whether you consider yourself, your act selfish or unselfish. So these are the few questions, and every time you can audit yourself whether your actions are spiritual or not. Supposedly many things we might be doing in the eyes of the world, probably they are applauded and very nice. You ask yourself whether you really consider them as such. So freedom, strength, unselfishness, bliss and expansion of heart. These are the few qualities. I can say, like, just to, because one way or other it can dilute, that's why put 5 metrics. So if it is passed through one filter, if it is not right, get caught in the another one. Just like that. Whether on all counts our actions are fulfilling. If it is lacking somewhere, falling short, then we have to again do our work. Find out the errors and correct it. Winning over our small or false self. Liberating ourselves from there itself. So you are doing slavery, grinding yourself, and then one day you will attain freedom. No. You will start attaining freedom at every step. It will be liberating you from the time you start your work itself. In bit by bit, grain by grain, every time you are going to get stronger, purer at heart. every time you are going to become saintly, godly. Every moment, with every effort, every small step, you are going to become spiritual. Being spiritual is a work which we have to do. It is no tag we put on our chest and we become that. It is work to be done, and that laboratory, that Kurukshetra, is within us, where we have to fight, we have to work very diligently, very astutely, very methodically. So knowing oneself is a great power, is a great asset, is a great achievement. You in degrees you gain that. In degrees you gain access, deeper access within you. You in degrees you develop your ability and capacity to dive deep in the complex and vague environments of your own heart. In degrees you gain the trust of your own mind, your own self, and it reveals the truth. It surrenders itself. It helps you accept your mistake. They are like your many times a man, his self is equated with the buddhi and ahankara. Not many times his mind and especially chitta is less identified. So these are the why so, because they are less in control of the human being, that individual. मैंने ऐसा ठीक किया है, तो बुद्धि बोल रही है ठीक किया है, निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि। पर मेरा मन आज कुछ अशांत है, मेरा मन, नॉट मैं। बोल भी सकते मैं कुछ आज अशांत हूं, मेरी ऐसी कुछ इच्छा है। चित्त इज थ्रोइंग अप द डिजायर्स, द संस्कारस। सो when that individual slowly gains this knowledge, acceptance and trust of that mind, तो मन को तो कुछ हम उसको दिशा दे सकते कि ऐसा विचार करो, ऐसी सिचुएशन है, ऐसा चिंतन करो, बुद्धि एक डिसाइड करेगी, चित्तों को पूछेंगे। चित्त का एक दूसरा एक ऐसा फंक्शन है जो एज इफ अनकॉन्शियस और अनकंट्रोल्ड है। जब तुम्हारे पास कुछ भी नहीं है, तुम उसको काम को नहीं लगाते, तो अपने ही मन से, जैसे कोई दुकानदार, मैंने एग्जांपल दिया था ना, कि आप खरीदने कुछ जाते हो तो मैडम ये देखेंगे क्या नया माल आया है, अरे तुमको पूछा ही नहीं भाई मैंने। तो जो ये स्टेट होती है ना, जैसे हम बोर हो रहे हैं, ये कहते हैं। सो चित्त इज नॉट एंगेज, चित्त's वर्क इज टू प्रोवाइड यू द पास्ट रिकॉर्ड्स। जब तुम सोच रहे हो, है ना, स्मृति तुमको चित्त को प्रोवाइड करनी है कि टू रिकॉल दैट, फाइंड दैट रिकॉर्ड। या फिर कोई किसी विषय पे मतलब चिंतन कर रहा है, मीन्स ऑटोमेटिकली फ्लो ऑफ आइडियाज इज कमिंग। बट व्हेन देयर इज नो सच एंगेजमेंट फॉर चित्त, मन के लिए भी कुछ मतलब ऐसा विचार करें तो दोनों बड़े अस्वस्थ हो जाते हैं कि क्या करे कि नहीं करे। तो एक समय जब ध्यान में या फिर जब विशेषता when you are progressing on this path of spirituality, in the path of meditation, it is becoming, you are experiencing good meditation, so to say। इसमें एक लेवल के बाद तुमने बुद्धि का काम किया, बुद्धि ने बताया कि ये है नेति नेति, ये मैं नहीं हूं, मैं चित्त बुद्धि अहंकार नहीं हूं, मैं ये शुद्ध आत्मा हूं। बुद्धि ने बोल दिया, बुद्धि का काम हो गया। मन को अभी करना है कि तुम दूसरा कोई और विचार नहीं करो, यहां तक कि ये विचार करना भी तुम रोक दो, क्योंकि ये साक्षात है, ये विचार नहीं है। मन, मैं तो मनोबुद्धि अहंकार तो मन भी तो नहीं हूं। है कि नहीं? चित्त भी नहीं हूं, ये तो मैं बोल रहा हूं, पर ये चित्त का प्रॉब्लम यह है कि इस समय वो डिस्टर्ब करता है. So when I am asking that mind to not to ponder anymore, I am supposed to enter into the meditation. अभी तुम्हारे विचारों की लहरी को शांत कर दो. तुम बुद्धि स्थिर है, मन को भी तुमने कैसे वैसे चुप करा दिया. ये चित्त अभी दिस इज समहाट द अनकॉन्शियस एंड सबकॉन्शियस पार्ट जो है ना, ये मन में भी नहीं है, बुद्धि में भी नहीं है. ये सबकॉन्शियस जो पार्ट बोलते हैं, ये सब इट बिलोंग्स टू चित्त, बिकॉज इट इज द रिकॉर्ड होल्डर. इट इज द रिकॉर्ड होल्डर. मन तो केवल जो तुमको डाटा फीड किया गया है उसके ऊपर वो ऑन बोथ साइड्स संकल्प विकल्पात्मक मन विचार करता है. बुद्धि इस आर्गुमेंट्स के बेसिस पर डिसीजन देती है, पर चित्त के पास ही रिपोजिटरी है. ये चित्त को अनुकूल होना बड़ा कठिन काम है. सो यू सी दैट वर्क दैट when your mind consents, mind cooperates with you, it requires a lot of time even for the chitta to cooperate with you, to be agreeable in your will, your resolution. So in that depth, in your subconscious, this message has reached that I am entering into meditation now. So when you are meditating, not only your buddhi, your chitta and mana, all three are ready for it. So it's a long journey. So to work until that level, to that depth level, and then that individual achieves that kind of integrity, then now whole force is united and now he is ready to enter into meditation. So spiritual journey kaisa hai? So the self knowledge, and so this is the whole lot of our effort, है कि नहीं? और नहीं करने से होगा नहीं, क्योंकि करके ही नहीं हो रहा है तो नहीं करके क्या होगा. So and that whole methodology has to be discovered कि कैसे करना है. That balance has to be struck, not to work it too much, not to let it go loose. So when this individual, so as this progress happens, as individual evolves on this spiritual journey, these things that what Bhagwan is saying, माम अनुस्मर, मुझे स्मरण करके. So ईश्वर के चैतन्य का अनुभव, उसकी साक्षात्ता का अनुभव, ये उसको पहले तो कोशिश करता है, पर धीरे धीरे as he grows gradually, it becomes just part of reality. और तब उसके लिए ये शब्द खरे ठहरते हैं. It becomes true and real for that individual. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु माम अनुस्मर युध्यच. कितनी गहन बात है ना? सब समय ईश्वर को स्मरण करके तुम काम करो, कैसे करोगे? बहुत सारे लोग अपना एक मंत्र रहता है जिसको गुरु ने दिया है जप करने के लिए, उसको स्मरण करते करते बाकी सब काम कर रहे हैं. तो बड़बड़ाना आवाज मतलब तो ईश्वर नहीं है. शब्द ईश्वर है क्या? अरे हम तो कह रहे हैं अवांग मनस गोचर है, तो सब शब्द कैसे ईश्वर हो सकता है? जिसको ईश्वर या फिर वो चैतन्य आत्मा ब्रह्म जिसको हम कहते हैं वो तो चैतन्य है, उसका स्मरण कैसे करें? स्मरण करने का तात्पर्य ये है कि तुम कहने के लिए तो स्मरण करो, पर उसकी अभिव्यक्ति क्या तुमको उसका आभास है, ये बात प्रमुख है। तो यह क्रमशः उस व्यक्ति को संजोना पड़ता है. He has to cultivate it, inculcate it, and then slowly it becomes real for that individual. श्री रामकृष्ण एक सुंदर सा उदाहरण देते हैं. कहते हैं कि like the children play around you, holding on some stump, and they are holding on it with one hand, they go around, circling, wheeling around it. So, saying that, Sri Ramakrishna says that you should live in this world in this way, that holding on to God at one hand, with one end, and doing your duties by other. Alright? Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. Various ways he put that idea across. But I understood the idea. मुझे समझ में तो आ गया, ठीक है. आप भगवान ने आपने कहा कि सब समय आपका स्मरण रख के मैं कर्तव्य कर्म करूं. करो, कोशिश करो. You will find that you are not able to do it anything. अगर ध्यान रखते तो काम छूट जाएगा, काम करते तो भगवान का तो याद रखना है, यही याद नहीं आता, तो कैसे याद करेंगे? ये रियल प्रॉब्लम है कि नहीं? है कि नहीं? आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं है? So exactly that is the situation. So we have to accept this and we have to see how we are going to now fulfill this, how we are going to achieve this. कि कैसे करूंगा मैं धीरे धीरे इसको. How we are going to make it real. Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. And here, Mameva Eshyasi Asamshaya. There is no doubt this person will attend to me. So this is another way Bhagavan has put it. What way you can reach me? So like in earlier 5th verse he has said, at the end time, Anta Kaleja Mameva, if you leave your body at the time of departure, point of leaving your body, if you are so much conscious, so much aware, and at that time when death is a different kind of experience, you cannot imagine, because we never have death. Did we? We never have death. Earlier we have not experienced death, but you try to experience something little bit uncomfortable and we are out of our mind, and so much leaving this body is not always an easy experience. So we people say that sometimes some people, they pass away unconsciously in their sleep, in their accident, in their shot. They are lucky because they didn't have to suffer. But see, he didn't have consciousness. He didn't left his body in full awareness. Idea that this is body and I am separate from it, this idea itself is all the suffering in the agony that I am dying, I am feeling pain, this is making me uncomfortable, nervous. Can you imagine? You choke your a little bit throat, or somebody might have tried it even in fun and jest. How uncomfortable it is. How are you going to think of this idea itself? And he said, if you do that, I do not know how you are going to do that, but if you do that, you are going to attain. At the time of death, if you leave your body remembering me, just smaran, just recollecting of me. So he says, no, there is no doubt. Nasti atra samshaya. Not only that, in whatsoever form or whatsoever idea you are thinking about, to that idea you will attain. So he cast it into a principle. So there is no. So whatever. So we have the story of Jada Bharata Isn't it that Bharata, so he was doing tapasya and he kind of reared one a deer fawn baby, and at the time of passing away he slowly became that rishi, so much attached to that fawn, he was only thinking of that fawn, that who will feed him, etc., etc. In next life he was born as a deer, and then he got his lessons. Then again he takes the new birth, and at that time he has full knowledge of his past life, and he said, this time I will not do any mistake. And he behaves and conduct himself in the world like he is a dumb person who cannot understand and cannot speak, and almost like a vegetative experience. Because now Bharata, this in the next birth, he is decided that I will not engage with this world howsoever it might provoke me. I will just let this body fall off as and how according to its own karma, and I am liberated over. I will just bear this much until this body lasts. Then there is a different story, and there is this Jada Bharata Savad, etc. Very wonderful. So, so whatsoever idea you are remembering at the time of death, I said that's why this birth is very important. Because it is going to influence and more or less have a great say at a great extent what and how much you are going to do in your life. So your beginning is very important. So birth is very important. So that's why Hindus are very careful and they are very mindful of how you die. Because whole living there, therefore it is dependent upon it. So since their birth itself they are thinking about death. हाँ तेरा मरण सुख से नहीं होगा, आराम से नहीं होगा, वगैरह वगैरह. They are cursing someone. So idea of dying is very important for Hindus because they understand this fact. So this idea, then he says, forget about suppose live about dying. If you conduct yourself in this way, if you all the time carrying yourself, conducting your, fulfilling your duties, always keeping a recollection of me, again there is no doubt you will attend to me. You will attend to me. So this is the 7th verse. And so here, because when we try to think about some ideas and ideas associated with it, so it takes us to a different domain of its world in itself. So when we think this idea that tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha mayarpita manobuddhi. So in the last class I paid attention to this phrase mayarpita manobuddhi. Here in this class I paid attention to the former part tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. So this is the 7th verse, and this is what I wanted to tell or put it before you, some ideas which came making this verse as an opportunity. So think yourself, pay attention to the ideas and pray to God. If you are really honest and sincere, then Sri Ramakrishna says that you do not have to fear, that God will lead you by holding your hand. He will provide you whatever you require, whatever you need to reach to your destiny, to progress on this spiritual path. So no fear, be sincere, be honest, pray to God and work as best as you may. Okay. Om शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।